figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new X-Transbots Master Mini-Series 9 of Klaatu. I don't even know, is that a word? Did they just make up a word? I don't know what that is, but that's his name. But as you can see, he's their representation of a masterpiece style cosmos. When I took a look at their Toro, it really impressed me, so I decided to go back and get some of their more recent ones to kind of see if that same quality has been there for a little while and I just completely missed it. For the packaging though, as you can see, you got Klaatu kind of floating around in outer space. The side here has a little image of his spaceship. On this side, you got an image of his little pudgy bot. On the top here it says X-Transbots, all that kind of stuff. The bottom here gives, I don't even know who that's supposed to be, but it's somebody, yeah, whatever. On the back of it though, you can see, I really like this. What they did was have a whole bunch of kind of UFO files kind of spread out, and then you can see right here, kind of making it look like Cosmos was kind of responsible for some of these. You have the tech specs where you can have the little thing. I wish they gave you the little red translucent kind of reader thing so you can read that. They should do that. And then you can see his function is reconnaissance and communication. And then if you'd like to read that, you can go ahead and pause it right now and get any kind of information that you may need. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Klaatu opened up and out of his packaging, and alongside his accessories, which you can't really see. So here, let me bring that in. Here, that'll fix things a little bit. Alright, there we go. So starting out first, he does come with a nice display base. As you can see, it is clear. One thing I like is that the bottom section actually can store the stand for him, which is really very, very nice. You got a little slit right here that all you do is you just slide that in like that, and then you got a little peg right there that plugs into the underside. One thing that I like about it is it's designed to kind of look like a crop circle. That's still actually kind of hard to see because the background's not that great, but I think that looks really very cool how they incorporated that whole alien aspect into it. And then like I said, you got a little peg right there, you have a little hole on the underside that you can just take this, put that there, and now you can have him kind of floating around, which I dig. I think that's a great display option for him. You also do get, and then again, you can take this, you got little clips underneath here, and it just fits underneath like that. No, well, maybe if I get it, there we go, line it up perfect. Push that in. I love that. That's something they didn't need to do, but I really appreciate the fact that they did it. Now, he also does come with, this is an abduction beam, I guess. So on here, you have this little raised section around the circle that you can take this, you can just friction that in there, just like so, and then friction this in, just like so. It's a little bit tough to get in there. Get that, come on. So there you have that. Now, the instructions show it going underneath here. Unfortunately, mine, it doesn't really work all that well. It's very, very stiff. Kind of rotating it pushes this up, so it's really tough to get in there. This whole bottom section here kind of moves, so it does require a little bit of force to get it in there. I wonder if there's a little section here, maybe if you do that, kind of get that out of the way and hold this down. It's part of the transformation to do all this. Let me see if this can give a little bit of leverage when you're pushing. Yeah, oh, there we go. All right, that's a little bit better. All right, and then you would just have to slide this back up, tab that down, bring the hand down. So he does have his little abduction beam, and that can be another display option, just like that. I kind of think that that's a little bit cooler, honestly, just because it looks like he's an alien spaceship abducting things, which I think is terrific. You get a screwdriver. It comes in handy for a couple different things. No, I think it's originally supposed to be for the swappable eyes. The eyes that are on them are painted chrome, which look really nice. It's a blue chrome, and you'll see that here in a bit. This is a translucent blue piece. doesn't really matter because there's not much light piping, so I don't really know the purpose in this, but it gives a light blue color to his eyes. The screwdriver really comes in handy for replacing those, but it's, for me, more handy in getting the head to pop out, and I'll show you that here in a bit. He also does come with a XXX can of spray. Pretty decent, honestly. Some nice paint on there. You got the XXX logo right there, red. It has a little black tip, some nice silver paint on there as well. He can hold it, which is nice. You got these little cutout sections right there. I don't remember what this is for, but you can also attach it. There's a spot on here. There it is. There's a little spot right here on the base that the camera is not going to want to focus on, that you can take this and you can tab it right there. So another storage option for you, which again, really very nice. He also does come with this plant thing. It's just this rubbery plastic. It's got some spikes on it. Nothing overly spectacular with it, but you can take this to, God dang it, that's really on there good. All right, pop that off. You have a little post right here. It doesn't really stay on there all that great either, so you kind of rotate that in there and it slowly pops out. It also kind of sticks out in the side, so you can just take that and put it underneath there if you want to and have him abducting that. Or if you want, you can come around here to the back, and this is how it was in the episode. It's on a little bit of an angle, so you can take that and put that right there, which it kind of, when you force it on there, it kind of messes it up, that it just falls out now. So that is a little bit unfortunate. Probably don't do that. I probably want to do that very much, but you have options for it. But for his accessories, that's it. I think that they're really good. They're simple. I don't know really what else that you could have included with him. I'm happy with it. He also does come with this collector card. It is that same art that we saw on the package. You have that read up and then the text specs, which are a little bit easier to read because it's not that weird kind of red color. You also do get the instruction sheet, which is really nice. It kind of, this coming out before Toro, you can definitely see an evolution where they were trying to keep costs down by having smaller paper. The instructions are still just as good on this, honestly, as that Toro figure. You can see really nice big images. It's almost a little bit, I guess, kind of a catch-22. You like seeing bigger images of what you're transforming, and the transformation on this guy is really very simple and easy, but you can definitely see where they were trying to cut costs by making the packaging and instructions a little bit smaller. So you do get that, but for his accessories, that's about it. Now, coming in to take a closer look at Klaatu here, as you can see, he's a UFO, and I think they did a terrific job of homaging that original look for him. It is a truly wonderful representation of the character. I mean, he was a kind of pudgy, weirdly shaped UFO, and they nailed it, I feel. Got a really nice green color throughout it. You got some darker green on the outer section here, which looks really good. You got little blue thruster thingies here. You have the little red dot, which will become his head. Some computer panels there, some yellow, some white, which looks great because that really nicely homages that original look. You have some little blasters here in the front, and you got some little thrusters there in the back. Underside here, just not really much, but I think they do a good job of kind of making it look like the underside of a spaceship, I guess. Really very fun. Now, I don't really know why you would need to do this. It's a little bit tricky to do, especially for someone who doesn't have fingernails, but these little bits can fold down, and it shows some little red tech detail on the inside there. For the actual head, you have to bring that panel down. I don't know necessarily, and oh, I didn't even notice this, that the little red sections on both sides are actually a little bit different. I don't know why you would really need to do that here in vehicle mode, but you can do it. One of the things that instantly surprised me when I got this out of the package was number one, the size. He's pretty big. I mean, by comparison to my hand, you can see he's a really big figure. Yeah, at least in vehicle mode here. And then he's also heavy. There's some die cast in here, which does push the cost a little bit higher, but I feel like it works. It's not overdone by any stretch of the imagination. Now, like I said, he is pretty big. Taking a look at their Toro figure, you can see in terms of a size, I feel like it works pretty good with the scaling. A car is going to be a little bit smaller than a spaceship, so I guess that works. Now, obviously, he's a little bit bigger, but bringing in Bumblebee, which is a official Masterpiece figure, you can see that, again, pretty good size by comparison. I think that they all scale really nicely together. And because I actually do have a G1 Cosmos, here he is, and you can see, like I said, they do a really good job of kind of recreating the proportions on him. I'm really very happy with what they were able to do. This guy looks, honestly, really very good. But I really think that the transformation is one of the most impressive aspects of this toy. First, what we're going to do is we're going to separate these arms. There's a couple different little hinge pieces right here. Just kind of pull that away and then extend that all the way out. Just kind of doing that gives you some extra clearance area. Then you come around here to the top. You kind of want to put your fingernail in this little top section. It can be tricky. Let me try this side. It looks like it's not closed all the way. Okay, there we go. So bring that back, bring this back just like so. Then take these flaps here. You're going to fold, well, take this top section here, fold that down. That's what I meant. Fold that down just like so. And then this entire section is on a little slider. It's a little bit tricky to get to. Kind of push from the bottom. You want to kind of put your thumb there. Kind of just force it up there just like that. There you go. And then you can kind of leave it out on the side. Leave that. There you go. Leave that like that. And then take this whole section and bring this back around, kind of angling this out so that you can swivel that away, and then you can tuck that down like so. So again, do that on this side. Keep that out of the way. Kind of push with your thumb on the underside here. It is a little bit tricky. You do want to keep it kind of straight. And then again, kind of bend this so you can get some clearance around, and then bring this in. And that'll just kind of sit there, kind of keep that up again, kind of keeps that out of the way. Come down here to the side, take this piece, detach this, and no, that was already loosened up. And then look at that nice detail. You got some nice silver and gold on there, really, really nice. Then take this whole section and separate this, lift this up. You have a little sliding section here, so slide that up, just kind of lift that up again, get that out of the way. Then bring this piece down like so, and you can split these legs right down the middle just like that. And then take this whole section, you're going to fold this back, bring that down and around like that, fold this out to the side, straighten this up. When you get it kind of straightened out, take this little piece, tuck that down, kind of locks the leg in. We're going to rotate this around, bring this around. This little piece right here is on a little sliding hinge. Just slide that back and then bring that section up, bring that up, locks that into place. This you have to kind of bend this, and then as you bring this around, I don't honestly know why it matters. Oh, because it kind of gets caught on here. So just kind of bend that and then fold this in. If you fold it all the way down right now, it kind of gets caught on this little corner piece right there, so it won't go all the way. So just kind of leave that up a little bit, then fold that, then bring that down, and then you can collapse that all the way. So you can do that on this side. Kind of lift this up, extend this lower leg piece, bring this piece down, lock that into place, kind of position those legs around. Take this whole section, rotate this around, slide this little panel on the side back, tuck that there. I'll rotate this piece down, tuck that up and in, Then again, bring this down, bring this around, kind of lock that in like that. So that's how the back section looks. That's how the front section looks. Basically, the legs are done. And let's see, kind of angle that back a little bit. Now these arms, you got this little hinge right here. You kind of just bend it and then it collapses into that little section right there. So just bend that in, push that in just like so. Do that on this side as well. Bend that in, push that in just like so. You can bend these arms a little, come around here to the side. This piece right here, a little bit tricky. Fold this piece up like that, and then this whole section folds down. Rotate the hand, it goes a little bit easier that way. Bring this back up, collapse that piece down, rotate his fist around like so. So again, do that on this side. Fold this up, pull this around, spin, bring this back up, collapse that back down, rotate the fist just like that. And this whole back section here, keep that hinged up and then collapse it along the back. You can actually slightly hinge it down a little bit more, and it kind of hides the little prongs. Some people were complaining about these pieces being visible. I don't mind it really all that much, but if you want to, you can kind of lower it. So you had it up like that. You can collapse it a little bit more on this little sliding joint here. Why is it? There we go. So you had it up like that. That's kind of ugly, but you can, like I said, collapse that down a little bit. Kind of keeps it a little bit lower. Spread his legs. Now this is where that little tool comes in kind of handy. The screwdriver. Remember I was kind of talking about this? So to get the head, it's on a spring-loaded locking mechanism. You want to bring this down. Now, I do want to give props to Bobby Skullface. He kind of pointed this out in his video that apparently someone else mentioned that if you push this down, it gives enough space to get your finger in there to push it, and it does, but it's really tricky. So you do have to kind of push it down. It brings that out a little bit, and all I can really do is get my pinky in there, and it's not very easy to do, honestly, but you can get it to work. Or you can do this, and this gets a little bit unfortunate. Ready? Let's see. And keep that there, and push the button. And there, I thought the head was going to go flying. It has been going flying every single time. That's why I was going to angle it that way and show you. And then the final touch is here on the back. You want to open these, fold this in, and then you can kind of collapse that a little bit there. Do that on this side as well. Collapse that down. Bring that down like so. And again, just kind of fiddle with them a little bit. And when you're done, there you have Klaatu in his really cool looking robot mode. And he looks great. I mean, every aspect of this guy nicely evokes that Cosmos character that everybody kind of knows and remembers. As you can see, he can hold the little spray can. You just fit it in his thumb. So you got a little thumb right there, and then you got the little hole. You just take that, kind of just wedge that all the way in, and then wrap the fingers around there, and it's really easy to hold it. He doesn't come with any other weapons, really. I don't even know if you would call that a weapon. But he does, one thing I like is have these little thrusters still on the outside of his actual fist. That's nice. Taking a look at the old G1 toy, he still kind of had that, despite the fact that he didn't actually have hands. He did have that there, and that was one of those design elements, that those little thrusters remain there when his hands came out. I really do dig that. But overall, I mean, again, really very nice. The yellow looks really good. I like the different color tone here, kind of breaks things up. Nice chest piece right there. The head looks really good. As you can see, you got that nice reflective blue paint for his eyes. If you wanted to, you can swap that out with the included translucent ones. You just come around to the back, you use the included screwdriver, you just stab that in there, and you swap his eyes out. I'm not really going to do it because I think that there's more life in his eyes here with the reflective paint. I think it looks good. But the rest of them looks really nice. One thing that I actually forgot to do. Now, in terms of vehicle mode, he had these little white strips. One thing that they did, and I apologize, I forgot to show this. I'm going to detach this, get this out of the way. This actually can swivel down. It's kind of tough to do. It like folds. They didn't need to do it. You fold that down, and then you, let me move this off to the side here, and then you bring that around, and then you can hinge that up, and then what you have is a full-on green section, which is more accurate to the robot mode, which is cool. Again, it's a little bit tricky. Let me see if I can do that. There we go. Kind of just force this up like that, and then rotate this piece around. And this is a die cast piece, so that's where a lot of this extra weight kind of comes from in the figure itself. So make sure you do that. That's the final little touch for the transformation. But a lot of die cast still in here, like in the lower part of the legs. I think that the paint looks pretty good. Taking a look here, this is molded yellow, this is painted yellow. There's a slight difference in it, and I mean, looking at it here in hand, you don't really notice it, honestly, all that much. You might be able to notice it more in person, but overall, a really very, very cool looking representation of Cosmos. He's bigger, and I think that has put some people off because he's supposed to be a mini bot, obviously, and he's still smaller. For comparison, here he is. And here he is with Masterpiece Bumblebee, as well as the X-Transbots Toro figure, just to bring in the G1 guy as well for just the heck of it, if I can get him to stand there. He's really tiny, but they're all mini bots, and he's still smaller, but he definitely is bigger than these guys, and I think that works. In the cartoon, there was a lot of inconsistency with the sizes and stuff. Sometimes he looked bigger than he is, sometimes he was a little bit more slendered and less bulky looking, but for the most part, I think that this works. And I think it does fit with that Masterpiece aesthetic fairly well. For his articulation, the head is on a ball joint. You don't get much up and down or side to side, but you can see you can do a little bit. It does rotate, I guess, you got kind of like a big neck. It looks like it's elevated a little bit, but that's not too bad. One part that does kind of stink is the rotation. This back section here does kind of get in the way. If you kind of move that out, it doesn't, but in moving it out, that kind of looks a little bit ugly. I like leaving it kind of more up against the body, but when you have it that far, this little piece here kind of wants to always hit that. And now you can mitigate it by kind of pulling this over and moving it around, but the only way that you're really going to be able to avoid that is by pulling it away from the body to get that clearance to fully rotate. He does have a little hinge section right here, so you get a pretty good range of motion. The shoulder, the elbows here rotate. There's two joints added as well, so you can get a nice deep curl with it. He does rotate at the wrist. He does have a knuckle hinge right at the main set of knuckles. I like the fact that he actually also does have a ratcheted waist joint, which is really very nice. These little pieces here move up so that you can move the legs forward and back. Again, you can hear some nice heavy duty ratchets, some nice friction joints moving in and out, holds a pose very well. I mean, getting him to stand there, I mean, that's really good balance on him. He does rotate at the upper part of the hip as well, so you can do that. You got basically two joints here at the knee, but it doesn't really give that much extra range of motion, but you can move that forward and back. The ankles do move forward and back as well, and they also have a tilt so that you can get it all the way out, and you can get a nice wide spread with them with both feet firmly planted on the ground. So, I mean, overall, a really impressive figure. I want to say that this is the one that really turned it around for X-Transbots in terms of making good quality figure. The plastic on here feels very solid. The die cast, while not necessary in a lot of figures, I think works for him just because of his overall size. I think it kind of fits him a little bit. It gives some heft to a otherwise hefty kind of guy. So I'm happy with that in there. Somebody like Toro really doesn't need it, but the added diecast does increase the price on him, but not really restrictively so. I mean, he's a pretty good size figure, and it's only $73. By comparison, Toro was $70 in their, I forgot his name, but their breakdown, which I've also got and I'm also impressed with, so stay tuned for a video of that. That was $50. So I feel like $73 is a good price for this guy. And like I said, I really feel it was the starting point for them to create really good quality figures. Now to transform him back, first you just take the head and plop that down just like so. I'm going to move this away from the body, kind of create some clearance. Then we're going to come here to the hands. I always forget which way to do this, but put the hand down there, rotate that around, and then you spin this around. If you had it the right way, this will close all the way. So, all right, I did that. So, go backside of the hand up, lift this up, fold this down, rotate this all the way around, and then when you bring this back in, the palm of the hand will be facing up. Make sure that the fist is completely closed as well. Tuck that down just like so. There we go. And then you can take these little side flaps, fold these out, and extend this section out like that. Do that on this side as well. Fold that back, extend that section, and then just straighten the arm and fold this around just like that. Do that on this side as well. Straighten out the arm, fold that piece down just like so. Now they're going to obviously rotate around, but just kind of keep them up and out of the way for right now. Come down here to the legs. This part here folds out, and then you fold this piece back, fold this piece down, rotate this back. Now again, you want to take this really stiff, fold this up, hinge this up, and rotate this piece around like that. Do that on this side as well. Fold this, rotate the white section out, then fold that back like so. I really love that they did that. That was super, super creative. Come down here to the knee, bend that a little bit, and then lift these little panels up like so, and then keep that like that. And then you're going to fold this up like that. So this accordion's kind of around there. Make sure I didn't do that. Make sure you pull this piece up, rotate that, and then spin that around like that, and then you collapse that all the way. So again, before I do that, if you had that like so, fold this, lift that, and then collapse this knee section down. You use that double hinge kind of like that, bringing that down, and then fold this piece down. You can bring these two halves together, secure those, keep that kind of down like that, and then this comes down to the front, clips down into place just like that. Make sure that's all pushed up to close that gap. Then take this section, kind of just leave this down like that. You can then bring these arms down. Well, let's see, let's play with these. Fold this piece out like so. Get that kind of down and out of the way. Fold this section up, come around to the other side, pull this piece out, fold this up like so, and then this whole section has to slide down and extend that out. So I guess you could extend that out and then slide that entire section down, and that's going to position right there towards the front. But before you do that, make sure that you bring this in, collapse this up along the back, fold this piece up, lock that in, come to this other side, get that arm out of the way, fold this piece up, and make sure that's pushed all the way up, lock that into place. You fold these down, squeeze that in, squeeze all that in, and then this just comes around, fits right there. Do that on this side as well. And when you're done, there you have Klaatu back in his spaceship mode. Now, what can I say that I haven't said already several times in this review? This guy is terrific. It really, really is. As I mentioned, I really feel that X-Transbots has been turning around their designs and making them basically less complicated, but still having a good masterpiece level of complexity, while still very nicely homaging the original look of the character that it's intended to replicate. As far as Klaatu here, I really like the accessories that he comes with, particularly the display stand. I know you can't see it, but he's actually in front of it. There, yeah, you can see. Oh, whoa, what happened to my finger? Oh, no. It's a really nice display, and it gives you a couple different options. I like the weird plant thing that he comes with. I mean, he comes with a can of bug spray. I mean, I don't really know what else that Cosmos could have came with, but I'm happy with it. His vehicle mode is really solid, the robot mode looks terrific, and the transformation, as I said, is complex enough that it kind of challenges you, but not overly so. I'm really impressed with the engineering that has gone in this and several of their more recent figures. Providing they keep the same aesthetic going, I can really see myself buying a lot more of the X-Transbots pieces. I mean, in the past couple weeks already, I've bought 3 of them, so for me, a guy who doesn't really buy a lot of third-party stuff, that's high praise. It's a great figure, I highly recommend them, and if you'd like to pick yours up, you can do so right now at Big Bad Toy Store. All you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of third-party transforming figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Once again, if you like this video, I would really appreciate your support and letting me know by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And before you go, make sure you subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever, it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable that YouTube subscription box is, and the best way to help support my channel and not miss any future reviews of mine is to click on that little bell right below this video and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And a very special thanks to you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. And a huge shout out to all of my patrons who through their continued support help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.